Hello curlies, it's Mary and welcome back to the Curly Closet. So today's video is going to be on this head wrap and makeup look. I haven't done one of these in a while, but let's get straight into it. So starting off, I am refreshing my hair. This is an old wash and go done with Camille Rose products. I'll put the specific products in the description box below, but I'm just working that into my hair. And then I am using a shine mist. It's Africa's Best Originals Coconut Shine Regenerative Dry Oil. Just adding some of this in to add some shine, and then I am putting my hair up in a loose band. Now I am using this Twisted Sister Nourishing Edge Gel, and I'm just using this to work on my hairline. I actually didn't add water to my hairline because this edge gel is quite moisturizing, and when you add water beforehand it kind of makes your edges a little bit too wet. So yeah, and then I'm using my ball bristle brush just to, of course, brush this in nicely, just kind of mold it a little bit more. And then I'll be using a really cute little brush that I got as a freebie from Africa's Best, just to slick my edges a little bit more, put some swoops in. You know, I mean, I'm going to be wearing a head wrap, so you know, you want the edges to kind of look nice if that's the look you're going for, which is what I'm going for today. So it has a little comb on one end, and then it has a little brush on the other end. So you can see I'm using each one just depending on what kind of effect I'm going for. Just a couple of sweeps, you know. I don't go too hard with the edges, but for this look I wanted them to just look a particular way, you know. Okay, so now we have my trusty headband that I'm just using to lay my edges, and now we're starting with the makeup. So I am combining Fenty Beauty's original foundation with the Velvet Matte Skin Tint from NARS. I like combining both of these because NARS has SPF, but it's a little bit drying. The Fenty Beauty has more liquid to it, so you just combine them together, you get a perfect consistency with some SPF and a good tone. So I'm moving on here to doing my brows. This is very sped up. By the way, this whole tutorial is going to be sped up. I can't even call this a tutorial really. This is just more like a kind of a get ready with me, I guess. Watch me get ready. Yeah, but I'm doing my brows, and then I'm just using my little brush just to kind of blend out the inner corners and to just neaten it up nicely. And now I'm moving on to using some concealer. Now I normally use two concealers. I use one by NARS, the Radiant Creamy Concealer, and also I'm using Fenty Beauty's 360, just because I feel like the colours combine to give me a little bit of brightness but not overdoing it. And then I'm just brushing that in nicely. Now I'm moving on to using this Urban Decay palette, and I'm going on to use this really lovely beautiful blue tone. This is going to be the base colour for my eyeshadows. So I'm just working that in. I'm just patting that in nicely to the lower half of my lid. And then I'll be moving on to using this slightly teal green colour to use in the inner half of my eye. Just patting that in nicely. You can see they both have a really lovely iridescent colour. And then I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in dark just to blend out the edges and give it just a bit more of a blended look. Now moving on to Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette and my L'Oreal Infallible setting spray. I'm going to be spraying a bit of that on my brush, and then I'm going to be using this beautiful glittery blue colour just to add some more radiance and vibrance to my eyeshadow. And I'm using a patting motion with this. You're going to see a bit later on, there's going to be some fallout from this, there really is, but it just comes with the territory. And now I'm adding on more of this minty green colour on top. Again, I'll be putting the name below just to add just some more iridescent lightness into the inner corner. So you can see it's just really brought out the blues in this color. Blue is going to be the main color for this whole look. So here I'm just going back in with my foundations because yeah, I had to kind of get rid of the fallout. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but I could definitely see in person. So I had to just put a bit more foundation back on and then go back in with some concealer just to neaten the whole thing up. Now I'm using my Fenty Beauty setting powder in honey, just setting under my eyes with a little bit of that and going around my shiny areas because I have shiny areas around my mouth. Now I'm going to use this Bourjois bronzer. I kind of use this as a bronzer and a blush at the same time, just to add a bit of warmth to my cheeks. I always put a bit on my forehead as well and try to blend it in really well because yeah, that line of your forehead isn't cute. And then I use a little bit more of my powder, my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, just to blend that out nicely and to try and balance everything out. So now, this is a Rimmel eyeliner. I couldn't do it on camera. I just had to do it off camera. It just wasn't happening. So I've gone back in with my iridescent blue and I am just blending out that blue and black just to give a little bit more of a smoky look. And now I'm adding some of this gold eyeliner. This is pretty much the main feature of this look. I love the contrast between the blue and gold. So now I'm moving on to using highlighter. I'm using this Fenty Beauty Killawatt highlighter in Poolside and 7-Day Weekend because of course the cool tones kind of complement the look. So I'm going for 7-Day Weekend as my highlighter, just above my cheeks and on my brow bone. Now I did add some of Poolside to my cheeks, but it just all ended up being a little bit too purple and a little bit strange looking, so I just went back in with my bronzer and blended it back out again. So now moving on to mascara. I've used this waterproof black mascara from Maybelline and I'm now using this blue mascara from Black Up because of course it complements the look. And essentially this is my final eye look. Now for the lips, this blue lip is a combination of Clapback by Fenty Beauty. If you hadn't guessed already, most of the products for this look are from Fenty Beauty, of course. Well, who else? I've used Clapback as a lip liner, and then I am going in with Turks and Caicos for the main color in the center of my lips. So we have a slightly darker outer lip and then a brighter blue inner lip. And then I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I love this powder because it just brings everything together, blends everything nicely. And I did use some of the same highlighter for my nose, but it kind of ended up being just a little bit too bright, so I had to blend it back out again. And I'm going in again with 7-Day Weekend in my inner corner. And this is essentially the final look. Very blue with a really lovely highlight. So now I'm moving on to this beautiful headscarf, Headwrap should I say, from Wrapped by Sarah. Now I'm having a quick look at my edges, seeing how they look. This is looking nice. This is what I was going for. So you can see the head wrap material is quite long, so I folded it over slightly so it can wrap around the back of my head and around my puff. And then I'm just crisscrossing them over at the front fairly tightly and wrapping them over again at the back, and then bring them back around to the front and tie both sides, and then just tuck the ends in. And then I pull it back a little just to kind of show the edges, because you know we worked so hard on them, might as well show them. And then I fluff out the puff a little. So this is one very simple, very easy way to wrap a really long head wrap, if that's what you choose. But I'm actually going to show you a second way to do this, which is also very simple. This time I started similarly, but when I came around to the front I actually tied the head wrap at the front, you can see it's just created, I don't know, it just creates a little bit of a different look. I wrapped it around the back again, and then I bring it back around to the front. I kind of just do a little twist on both sides, and then coming back towards the front, I just tuck the ends under, and it creates just a little bit of a different look. But this is the one I actually went with finally because I just liked it just a little bit more. So guys, this is the final look. We have laid edges, a really beautiful head wrap, a gorgeous blue look. I've also added some gold earrings just to finish off the look because, you know, earrings do make the look pop. And of course the eyeliner does match with my nails as well. Of course, you know, had to do it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and also share it with a friend. And I'll see you again soon on the Curly Closet. Take care. Bye.